Alright, David Harry here, and in this video I'm going to be testing out a knockoff audio interface for the Osmo Pocket. Now just before I get to that, let me just explain a couple of quick things about this particular video. The wide field of view that you're seeing here is the result of the Freewell wide angle adapter for the Osmo Pocket. This is basically the first proper go that I've had at it, so whilst this is not a video about that, you can see the results of it immediately with this particular video. And the microphone that I'm using is one of my kind of like Frankenstein botched microphones, but this microphone used to be a TRRS microphone, which I converted to TRS. So this particular microphone, what I wanted to do was have a permanent solution for it, so construct it so it was permanently always attached to an adapter, so I could just whiz it in and out really quickly, put it in my pocket, have it in a bag, whatever, and just shoot it in and out as fast as possible. Now I thought, if I go and buy the DJI adapter, which is definitely great, it works, and you know, over time DJI have definitely sorted out a lot of things to do with external audio for the Pocket, but it is nonetheless still expensive, and given the high possibility that I would have broken it in my quest to build one of these little weirdo microphones, I needed to pay the least amount of money to get one of these. So I found a knockoff one on Amazon. It's basically just a bit bulkier, but it's kind of got the same kind of shape and stuff. Now, here's the thing. That particular adapter is amazingly sensitive, or it's got a very high gain on its preamp, so it's not a one-for-one copy by any stretch of the DJI interface. So right now the DJI interface, I set it to a manual level where I'm happy that I've got enough headroom to play with it in post and then to apply whatever dynamics processing I wish to do to it, and basically not have the camera having to, like, you know, smash it to bits and all that stuff. Anyways, so that's enough about the adapter that I'm on now. Now what I'm going to do is flip over to the knockoff one, but in order to get this one to work, I have to be at an input level setting of 1 because this is way too sensitive, and especially for a loud person like me. So let me just flip over and I'll continue with the explanation of what's going on. Okay, so I've now switched over onto the knockoff adapter, and what it is that sensitive that I have to put the input level to 1 on the Pocket. Now, to be honest, I think what I should have also tried was to see if the actual attenuation on the Pocket is actually affecting this particular adapter. In fact, give me 1 second. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to try and put it up to 20 and see if it definitely goes louder. Alright, so I've now just put it up to 20. Now I don't know whether or not this is blasting it or whether it's worked or anything, so this may well be distorting and may well be lower, so I won't hang on it for too long. But anyways, yeah, that'll give us an idea as to whether or not if the actual attenuation is working, because it would appear that it isn't, only because even on 1 it's still really loud going in. So let me flip back to 1. So I've now just flipped back to 1. Now the only thing is, I don't know if when I was at 20 whether it was blasting the head off it or anything like that. So what I'm going to have to do is, when I get back in and I've listened to it, I may well have lowered that one down considerably, or I may not even have used it if it was too distorted. But I had a sneaky suspicion at looking at the levels that maybe it was the case that the Pocket's attenuation wasn't even affecting this adapter, because between 1 and 20 you should see a considerable difference on the little like 3-stage VU, and although it's only a 3-stage VU, it still is enough for you to gauge peaks, but it just seems like it's the same level from 1 to 20. So yeah, anyways, you know, we will know now whether it is or it isn't, but regardless it is set to 1, because if it is a fixed gain and it can't be touched by the attenuation of the Pocket, then this is what it is like anyway. And if it is being affected by the attenuation of the Pocket, then it has to be on 1 for me at least anyway. Now, here's the thing. I wouldn't say that this was particularly a bad sound coming out of this little adapter. Now, given that it cost me about £13, it's like, when I first listened to it, I thought, do you know what, it sounds too loud for my liking, for like, you know, when I just like normally record dialogue. Because like I said before, whether it's the Pocket's own original adapter or any other recording device, I will always have a fairly relaxed headroom within the recording, so then I can manipulate it the way I see fit in post. Because the problem with the things like the Pocket or any small cameras like this, loads of them do the same thing. They'll have AGC, which is automatic gain control, and limiting and stuff inside them. So what happens if you put in something that's a bit too loud? It's going to get slammed by limiters and stuff like that, and it can, you know, it's not particularly pleasant. However, this particular microphone is really loud, I think. Oh, sorry, the adapter's really loud going in. And by the way, the microphone is not overly loud in the first place. Now, here's the thing. Even if this particular recording isn't the way I would normally prefer to have these recordings done, it most certainly does give you a somewhat finished sound, because it already is hitting the dynamics processing of the Pocket regardless of the level it's at. So you are going to be getting what would appear to be a more finished sound, although it may be a little bit forced or forced sounding, especially for someone like me who's got a loud voice, or if you have a very sensitive microphone. Now what I'm going to do, let me just go somewhere and then stand still, and I'm going to alternate with some dialogue between the two microphones. They tell us that we lost our tails, evolving up from little snails. I say it's all just wind in sails. Are we not men? We are Devo. Are we not men? DEVO. Okay, so I'm now going to do a quick test just to see what the extra noise is like, or if there is any between the two different adapters. So I'm just going to leave the mic open and let's see what we can hear. Alright, so what we've heard there then have been two quick tests which should give us an idea of the differences between the two adapters, because I'm cutting between them really quickly. So the first one is just me cutting between two takes of the same dialogue, which is Jocko Homo by Devo. And then the other one was the open mic bit, just so we can get a gauge if there's any difference in like noise levels or anything added noise wise from each of them. Anyway, so what I'm going to do now is redo those again, but without the extra processing that I usually use anyway for my YouTube outputs. Now what it is, I normally put a slight limiter on so I can get everything as close to zero as possible without clipping, and also I will re-level things as well so that they're a little bit similar in volume when they come out. But what I'm going to do now is do the same two things and switch them both off as well. So what we're going to hear now are the levels exactly as they've gone in. So this will give you a really good idea of exactly the difference between the two adapters as far as the input levels were concerned. They tell us that we lost our tails, evolving up from little snails. I say it's all just wind in sails. Are we not men? We are Devo. Are we not men? DEVO. Alright, so with all that madness out the way with, then I'm going to shoot off home. What it is, it's like really early. I got up dead early today. Had a quick coffee, but I had nothing to eat, so I'm starting to flag now. Anyways, yeah, so what did you think of all this? And, you know, there was definitely differences, I would imagine, but were the differences actually bad, or is it really down then to taste? Like I said earlier on, it's got a very sensitive or it's a high gain input, so it's not going to be suitable for like everything. But I would imagine if you're kind of recording, say, with microphones that are not very sensitive, it'd be good for that. As long as obviously you don't mind the EQ, the tone of it, the sound, was it hissy or anything like that. Now if all those things there, you could put ticks on and say, yeah, it was all good, then like I say, it could be a good option for like lesser sensitive microphones, or indeed for people who have got like quieter voices than me. But yet nonetheless, it is an option, I think, and I think it's a really good option, and I will be doing something with this in one of my botched microphones as well coming up. Anyways, I think that's me done and dusted now. So if you've liked this video, give it a huge thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, click the bell notification icon for like future videos. Oh yeah, what was the freewheel adapter like? That's going to be a good video when I do that one. Anyways, I'm David Harry. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye now.